Today, we're going to talk about presentation views in PowerPoint. And I found it possibly a little confusing between edit view and slideshow view and presenter view and all these other views. So we're going to hopefully simplify it for you during this video. Think of the 5 presentation views as subsets or second tier views of the edit view domain or setting. And we'll show you the bubble text on each one. The views can save you time on shortcuts. And we've also found out there's also some icons on the bottom right that can save you time also. We'll show you those. Okay, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to get notified of other videos coming out on Wednesdays at noon Central Time. Okay, here are the 5 presentation views, and we'll get to those in just a minute. In edit view, normal, outline, slide sorter, and you can see the other 3. There's also icons on the bottom right side of the edit view. And here's what those icons do for you. You can see them. You can toggle your notes on and off, normal view, slide sorter view, reading view, and then slideshow view. This is a magnification bar, and this shows you the percentage of your magnification. Now, I want to just quickly talk about slides. Back in the old days, pictures were taken on film, and the film were converted to slides, which are these white pieces of paper you see here. They hold basically a copy of the negative. Well, these slides went into this carousel and then was projected out. So the slide sorter kind of lays out the order that you want to put the slides in to be displayed with your projector here. And the projector nowadays is PowerPoint or Canva or something else. So that's what we have as far as slides and slide sorter. And I've just got some real generic text here with some animations, with some transitions. Talk about those primarily in slide sorter once we get to that point. Nothing really heavy here. Okay, now let's get into the actual details of the presentation views. Like all other views, you want to go to view, and then you'll see the far left, you'll see the 5 presentation views. So let's go to normal. And what you have is thumbnails on the left, which you can resize once I find the arrow, where you can resize it. Not sure why it's not doing it right now. You have the slide show, or the slide itself. You have your notes section, where you can put notes. You have the scroll bar on the far right, where if you have the magnification greater than 100, you could blow up a certain area of the slide. Let's go back to slide 1. So now you can see how it's really blown up because we're at 256%, and you can reduce that. That's real good if you're working on something that's pretty fine and you want to change the shape of it or add some pixels or some colors or something. So if you go back to 100 or a little less, I think we were at like 66%. You can see where you are versus 100, and then you can see the number here. So you have the thumbnails, the slide, the notes, and the scroll bar. And as you notice, if you get greater than 100, you have a scroll bar on the bottom also to take you to different parts of the slide. So let's drop it back down below 100, something that we can manage. With this normal view, you can change the order of your slides just by moving them. You can even copy and paste, or you can select by holding down your shift key and where you want to go. Then you can format or whatever you want to do in mass or single command. Also, with this magnification, let's reduce my Cameo. When another way you can adjust it is to hold the control key down and scroll with the scroll bar. Notice how the non-visible area is getting larger. That's if you wanted to add some images or some graphic boxes out here, text boxes, you could do that and try different things until you found the right one. Say if you wanted to copy that, you can put it out here. Let's kill that. So now you could change that and make it a different color, different background, different size, and you could play with whichever ones you wanted. So I call it a non-viewable working area, or the non-visible area. So you also have the non-visible area. So you can hold the control key down and scroll up, and your magnification, as you can see, goes up. And then you can adjust this. What it's doing is trying to center everything based on what you have. If you move this here and move that there, and then scroll up, it's going to do a little bit better job. Even better on that one. We'll scroll it down a little bit, about 66 again. So that's the normal view. That's the view that I use most of the time when I'm using PowerPoint. One other item, this notes icon right here is the same as the one at the bottom right. It just toggles your notes on and off. Look at the bottom here. Same as this little icon here. And we've talked about these 5 icons here. You'll see the bubble text normal, slide sorter, reading view, slideshow, and zoom. Speaking of bubble text, you have bubble text here for each of the 5 presentation icons at the top left, and you can read that if you so desire. We're going to the outline view next. And we've talked about slide sorter at a very high level. You probably remember notes from the Notes Master master view, and then reading view we'll discuss at the end. So let's go to outline. Notice how the thumbnails will change. So now we're in a outline format based on the text you have typed. And this is useful if you want to take your text from PowerPoint and put it into Word or a text document or some other document, to use that text to do something else with it. And as you scroll down, you can see it's capturing all the text that we have entered, even the titles of each slide. So that's how you use the outline view. You still have the notes view if you want it, and you still have your slideshow or your slides. Slide sorter, very useful feature right here. This shows the current layout of your slides. As we said earlier, you can change the order, you can change it back, you can group multiple slides, you can hide them, delete them, duplicate them, whatever you want to do, format them in bulk. I do that a lot. Another neat feature I found out is these little items under the slide. Like if you click it, you'll see the animation or whatever is built into that slide. If you go here, this looks like a 2-second transition. Okay, so it went from 5 to 6. So that's what happened here. Let's move this out the way. So if you just click on it once, it shows you the previous slide on the current slide. Here's another 2-second transition. It should go from 6 to 7. And it's a wipe. I think the first one was a cut. Oh, it was just an appearance, just an appear. So now on 8, I believe this one I have a animation also added. I think I took the transition off. Like a 2-second delay before it appears. So that's how you can use the slide sorter to help figure out or remember or help remind yourself what transitions and what animation do I have where. Let's see what else what notes I have on slide sorter. That looks like about it. As I said, you can copy, resize, delete, mask, format from the thumbnail section if you want to. And you can also look at the animation, which we've gone over. Right, slide sorter. The notes view, pretty straightforward. As we discussed in the notes master, it's going to show you what your notes would look like. This is a paper printout for the speaker primarily. It's going to show an image or a capture of the slide, and it's also going to show an image of the notes that you have for that particular slide. And since we are in notes view, there's no notes icon down here, and that one has been grayed out because we're already there. And there's another bubble pane that you can look at briefly. And it'll show any font differences down here in your notes. You can have different size fonts. You can have bullets. You can have images, I believe. So notes are for the speaker. The last one we're going to look at is the reading view. Get to it. There's the bubble text. It's essentially full screen. You can click on it just like in slideshow mode, which we are basically emulating. I'm going to hit the space bar, and you can just scroll through the slideshow just like you could in slide sorter or slide show mode, slideshow view. And you can see the timings and everything happening. And I found out you can right click for more options. Always good to know about the more options. And I have a note here that clicking on full screen activates either edit view or presenter view. So let's just click on it. Oh, it's going to continue with the show. Let's go back to the beginning. Okay, you can go to a slide, zoom in, copy, edit, and then full screen. Notice this bar is probably going to go away when you go to full screen. It does. And you have your advance and reverse arrows normally found in slideshow mode. So that's it for the 5 different views or sub-views, subsets, whatever you want to call it, of edit mode or edit view. It can get a little confusing. I think I'll have another video coming out talking about slideshow view, presenter view, edit view, the 5 views we just talked about, the master views, to make sure that everyone's straight on which view does what and when. I basically set it up in like inputs, outputs, and in between. So we'll see how it goes, but look forward to that in the near future. Have fun with this. Let me know if you have any questions or any issues, and we'll work with you to get them resolved. So until next time, happy PowerPointing.